Hello and welcome back to her Gypsy Soul podcast. My name is Jacqueline Van Bierk. I am your host. I am a singer, songwriter, I'm an artist, a music composer, and just a lover of life. I definitely consider myself a lifer, um, a little gypsy, just following my intuition and my passions, which I recommend everyone should be doing, especially these days. I created this podcast to bring people together through storytelling. And I think now more than ever, it's important to really listen more to one another and respect one another more and really focus on our own happiness, well being, and share that with the rest of the world to inspire others and to also release the kind of energy that can really make this planet a better place for our time here. Without any further ado, I have a very special guest today, and you will join us in a pretty amazing, powerful conversation about things that are happening right now, about self sustaining yourself, about just a bunch of things that are happening that are going on right now in the world that we can all play a part in and make this a better place, not just for ourselves, but for our immediate circle of friends and family and the community we live in and that we are creating because we are in control. Um, I will let you know that this is a very open, honest discussion, unedited. So join us with an open mind and grab a cup of coffee, cup of tea, and some water, whatever you want, and enjoy. Here is my really good friend, fellow musician and fellow lifer, free spirit, Marco Thomas. Hey,
Oh,
Marco.
they give me the option to leave the meeting because the meeting will be recorded. I click continue. I click continue. Don't worry.
I know that is
Just
new.
like
I have
the
not
last.
seen I have not
I
seen that
never
before.
seen it before. To be honest, I never seen it
No,
before. I was like,
it,
what?
yeah, it just out. Maybe it's
Yeah,
a warning. They give us a warning sign that is very, very
yeah.
nice.
You can escape now.
The one thing you can escape is Zoom call.
Yeah, yeah. All right.
Marco,
Yeah.
I had to have you back on because we had a conversation like a while back, which was really
Hmm.
awesome. And obviously, time has gone by, and we are now here. Um,
Yeah.
where are we? It's end of May 2021, and I consider us like kindred spirits because we have a lot of the same interests, and we connected
Hmm.
because of Wim Hof, and I just feel like there's a lot of conversations that are not being that people don't have that they should have, where we are being so divided and we're being so segregated and we I think people start missing the most important things, which is their own
Hmm.
life, their own
Hmm.
well-being, their own
Hmm.
self sustainability,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
you are right on point with that. So let's have a conversation about that. Where are you at?
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Before you asked me yesterday to be part of the podcast, and I thought about it today when I had a little bit of a longer sleep. I always do that when I have a longer sleep. I think of stuff, like maybe a new song or a podcast, or it doesn't matter, a project, any kind of project. And I do it while I'm sleeping. Then I get new ideas and stuff like that. So I thought today the thought came to my mind like what what do we have in life, or what do the people have in life? Because obviously now everybody takes vaccine to get back the old life, right? That's the narrative now in the public. And then I'm thinking, okay, so what did they take from you during the pandemic or during the corona lockdowns and all that stuff? And so it was shopping, right? It
Yeah.
was going out, have a party. Seeing your family is very important, of course, and even now it's hard to see your grandmother or old people because it's so dangerous. That's what the narrative is. I only
Right.
try to rephrase that.
Yeah.
So actually, for me, I was like, okay, you take away my ability to travel. I love traveling. I went to a lot of places in my life, and it was one of the most important things for me, besides music and yeah, other stuff. And so I thought, okay, what can you do? For myself, I said, okay, I take my tent and I only travel in the country I am now. I'm in Turkey now. So yeah, let's take a tent and go traveling. Okay, so that was my first thing. For party, I did a lot of party in my younger days. I'm not fancying parties anymore. I'm fine with that. And I never was a live musician. I had some gigs, but I was never like had 150 gigs a year or something like that. Like other people, like my friends. So for me, it was quite easy, and it started a development in my life where I thought, okay, what can I do to be not so dependent on the on government stuff, on society. So it kind of swing to the opposite side for me, whereas it swung to the right side for the majority of people. Like, okay, I take vaccine. For me, it was like, okay, what can I do to find a way in my own, how can I create my own system within the system, and like other people did before, that's not something new, I know. So yeah, that's where I am at the moment. Still thinking about projects. I even make my own chocolate, for example. I started because I started to live sugar
Right.
free.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, and because I felt sugar is another way of being dependent, and even
Yes.
my digestion is so much better now. It's unbelievable what sugar-free life can do to you. Really, it's unbelievable. I can only recommend everybody to live sugar-free. It's an unbelievable experience. So yeah, and I started even 3 years ago, started to living alcohol free, start living cigarette free, and step by step, I even only use natural shampoo stuff, and
Yeah.
step by step, I increased that lifestyle, I would say, new system. So yeah, and now I'm here, and why should I take a vaccine? I'm now okay. You take away a lot of stuff, but I don't need a lot of stuff, so I don't care anymore. You know what I mean? So, and people would now say, the opposite side would now say, yeah, but you save lives if you take the vaccine. We can talk about that later. That's not so important at the moment. But yeah, I'm in my ivory tower over here, on the mountain. Have a barely contact with people. Physically. So yeah, that's where I am at the moment. So yeah, it was a good chance for me to go inside myself and find even healthier things, yeah, to include to my life. Yeah. Mhm.
Oh my God, I love this so much because I
Mhm.
feel that people think they are being taught, and I don't even feel like I don't even blame them because there's so much fear mongering all the
Mhm.
time with people that sit in front of the TV and watch those numbers and what's going on. There's just, oh my God. Like when I was in Germany and my mom, they watch TV all the time. And I got anxious. I'm like, I got to leave the room. I don't want to hear about it anymore. I don't want to see it because God, it's not real. This is not real. This is just like clickbait, right? They just tell us what their
Mhm.
narrative is. pushing their propaganda, and the vaccine propaganda is just insane. I mean, all these stars, showing. When have I ever seen that, where people show like, oh, look, I'm getting a shot or whatever? To me, that is just so ridiculous. And I don't care, like, you do what you want to do, but to push everyone else and blame and shame other people who are not choosing out of that system, which is really big pharma. And I would never trust a guy whose goal is depopulation and then he runs the biggest vaccine companies, but each their own. And I'm so with you. I think people need to finally step back into their own lives and reevaluate what they're doing. Are you eating healthy? Like you saying, cutting out sugar. When you look and go shopping, everything, almost everything has sugar in it. It is crazy. You have to put effort into buying something that has no sugar in it. It's not easy. Or that is not in plastic. It's another thing. Plastic is also extremely toxic,
Yeah.
and everything is in plastic. So taking the power back, and I think that's what you've been doing, and that's what I've been doing. I'm like, when all this started, of course we were all scared and we didn't know what it was until we were like, wait a second, something ain't right here. And this entire time, kind of like you, I mean, I love performing, but I've never been a big touring, like I haven't done this in a while. So for me, nothing has changed because I love nature. I'm out in nature all the time. I never stopped hugging people. I didn't hug my mom because she had cancer and I wanted to be careful with her. I was like, and she had like a track and all that kind of stuff. But otherwise, I'm not, nobody can tell me what I can do and what I cannot do. You know what I mean? Like, because at the end of the day, it's my responsibility. And I feel it's so irresponsible for people to blame people like us, saying you are not, you should be doing this for all the other people, which is bullshit. I'm not responsible for anybody's health. You're not responsible for my health. And so I think if people can finally see that and say, I do my best to stay healthy. And you know what? Healthy people die too. It happens. It just happens, right? But we're doing our best to keep ourselves healthy, because when you're healthy, you're happy. You can do the things that you enjoy doing, and that spreads like wildfire to your immediate circle of friends, family, because then they see, wow, what is Marco doing that makes him like so vibrant, like he's so energized all the time, he's so creative all the time. And I think it is very dangerous for us to just go, you're a good person because you do this, and I'm a bad person because I did this, and we cannot be friends anymore. We cannot, coexist, versus just saying, you know what, your decision, cool. Let me make my decision and be cool with that too, because otherwise, this is exactly what they wanted all along, right? They wanted to divide us and make us.
It's always about division, right? It's always black and white, Jewish and German, and I don't know. There's a lot of examples of division. Rich and poor, and I don't know. But the main problem, which comes to life now, which everybody can see now, is even before Corona, a lot of people had the life like, I'm looking for remedy, or I'm looking for fulfillment in the outside world. Like, for example, extrinsic, like you have extrinsic motivations, money, cars, bitches, like the rap videos, you know what I mean? I'm just kidding. I'm just goofing around, but you get the idea,
Yeah,
it's
totally.
just about the outside motivation, which the society gives you. You work hard for it, you deserve it, of course. I don't say anything against it, and it's good to enjoy life, have a jacuzzi, or have expensive travels, do what you want, that's not what I mean. But it's only extrinsic, and the problem with the extrinsic motivation is you cut your ability to go inside of yourself and find your intrinsic motivations. You get some intrinsic motivation at your job as well, where you have fulfillment in the style of job you do, and the position you do, and the style you have maybe contact with customers and stuff like that, or you see value in stepping up the career and getting a family. That's intrinsic too, but the problem is that although those extrinsic motivations factors, they took over your ability to go inside, and that makes it very hard for a lot of people to deal with fear, to deal with trauma, child trauma, to deal with terror, stress, and stuff like that. And so a lot of people swallow it. They just swallow it. They swallow the pain, and it's so essential in life to face those demons, to face those fear, pain, and all that stuff, because if you're not facing them, you can be easily controlled by outside energies if you not learn to deal with yourself, or let's say, I have another example. um, some people maybe lost something when they were young, let's say for me it was my father. When I was 13 years old, I lost my father. So there was an empty feeling. Of course, there's a gap inside of yourself. You feel like, wow, there's something missing. It's the masculine side, of course, in your life, which you really need when you're a young fella. And if I go according to the society now, you fill that up with extrinsic motivations factors. You have a good job, you have a nice car, everybody's looking at your house, and you the shit, you the capitalist superstar, let's say. I'm overdoing it a bit, but you get
I
the
love
idea.
it.
So you fill in this empty, which comes from inside, that empty feeling, and you're filling it with outside stuff. And now continue that idea of filling outside stuff inside of you to be programmed. You have a subconscious program, and always when they trigger you from the outside, the media, for example, and they give you fear, they give you pain from the outside, like they always doing, and then you got programmed like to behave in a certain way because you are scared to go inside, and you're blocking that inner feelings. And that is the whole psychology behind the whole game. What's going with it's not going on since Corona. It was even before, even I don't know, there are plenty of examples. Let's say the Iraq war, where they lied the hell out of it, and telling us they have boot camps and killing children in the boot camps, for example. Everybody is like, oh no, I can't see that. Yeah, go to war. And then it was done. Yeah, go to war.
No, you're frozen. Okay. I lost you.
Yeah. Now we're back. So it's always the same. They're controlling you
Yeah.
because you are unable to go inside. So if you want to learn something about yourself and even about the world you're in, because you create your world, then you need to go inside and you must be brave. I dealt with a lot of traumas from my childhood. It's not easy. It's not fun. It's not like I can buy a dress and say everything is fine. No, I have to deal with it, And yeah, and that's what's going on now with the coronavirus. They're using the coronavirus because the people are unable to deal with fear anymore. That's the problem. I feel.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
Mm.
so over here, things are opening up. I don't know how it is in Turkey right now. Like I know in Germany, it's still like all mask and all that kind of stuff. Like here, they actually lifted
It's
a
getting
lot.
better. Uh,
It's gotten
it
better. Yeah,
gets better in Germany.
yeah.
Yeah. They make now songs about how the summer will be and stuff like that. Yeah.
Hey, what? I'm sorry.
And they make now songs about how good the summer will be without Corona and getting vaccinated and stuff like that. Yeah, the whole marketing campaign.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. I know that's the propaganda, and I see it like left
Yeah.
and right, which is like really like it's really, but I think so. We talked about this before we started this. I think instead of us being upset because there's so many things you could get pissed about, right? Because like all this shit. And I do feel that at some point, all these people, Fauci and all these people, they need to be held accountable when all the truth comes out, because what they've done to a lot of people, like you couldn't say goodbye to your loved ones in the hospitals, they died on their own. Like but it is a huge crime on humanity. I feel that people need to be held responsible. But in the meantime,
Mhm.
I feel, we're all frustrated because either side, it doesn't even matter what side you're on, everybody's frustrated because it's been like you said, some people handle it really well. Like for me, I was like, whatever, I'm out and about with my dog, so I don't really care. I do my music. I'm used to being
Mhm.
a lot by myself, and like you, I've partied a lot in my lifetime, so I don't need to go to bars and like go crazy.
Mhm.
um I don't need to be at concerts. I mean, I love live concerts, but it's whatever. But I think that the greatest cure is happiness, making
Mhm.
ourselves happy, because there's so many things to be grateful for, and so many things that you could do you focus on just being silly, being happy, being even sarcastic. There's a bunch of YouTubers I follow which I freaking love. They're so sarcastic about the whole political environment, but they make it funny, and to me that is like yes. I prefer watching that over like news. um that is, I think, what we need to focus on, because what else can you do, right? There's so many things. I remember after 9/11, I was really like, again, first I bought the whole thing, and then I was like, wait, something in right here. And no matter how much you can fight against something, the best way to fight against something is to be happy and to live
Mhm.
your life to its fullest, because that, I think, is the best you can do. Well, how do you feel? I mean,
Yeah.
obviously you want to speak a truth, and you want to, like, support things that are revealing the truth, and that are for your rights and your freedom. But at the end of the day, it all comes back down to our freedom, and you want to be stressed and angry all the time about stuff. And we talked about that too. Like, of course we get angry. I get angry when
Mhm.
somebody like points their finger at me and says, oh, I'm irresponsible, I'm selfish, and this and that. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm not responsible for your life. So please, you do you, let me do me. I'm not doing anything bad. I mean, I pick up after my dog's poo, which most people don't. I know it's a small thing, but it's a big thing, right? I don't litter the streets.
Yeah.
I don't steal. I don't, you know, I'm
Mhm.
overall,
You just want to live.
you try to be the best person you can be, and
Yeah.
be authentic and be honorable, and know your values, and then respect others, because we all, like
Mhm.
you said, you had a different background, a hard background, and you could have easily ended up being, an angry dude who's just like, forever pissed that his dad didn't stick around, right? But you found a way to, like, all right, I made it through this. I will I
Yeah.
will
You
get
need to
better and
heal
better,
yourself.
and you're an
You need to
artist
heal
too.
yourself.
Yeah, yeah. And I
Mhm.
love also, like we talked about this, like I love how you're an artist and you work on your art, but then sometimes we need to step away from that because either we're not really inspired, or you actually ended up doing a lot of garden work. And how awesome is that? Because what better way to eat your own vegetables?
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Um, that's why we're planning to move maybe to a farm place or something like that. That's a long project, we need to find a good place with good soil and stuff like that, but my wife is more she's really diligent with growing some stuff. Not really diligent. We have a terrace, but she has like a corner there where she grows some stuff, and she's always so proud of bringing it to our table, of course, and I totally understand that. That's awesome, and I'm so proud of her. For me, it's more like I like to take things and make something new, like chocolate or something like that. You know, I like to create something, and that's the question. How do you react in conflicts and conflict situations? Are you paralyzed or are you creative? That's I would categorize people into, let's say, drawers. One is dying and one is living, and that's like paralyzed or creative, you know. And you can be paralyzed, like the whole world now is paralyzed, you know, not the whole world, but a big number of people are paralyzed, and they do everything the government wants, and they even fight for it, you know. That's the best you can do. You don't need a king anymore, you know. Everybody is fighting for it. Like, that's the best manipulation system you can have, right? And yeah, and for me it's always, I want to be creative. And it was even in school when I had stupid teachers, or let's say average teachers, who made stupid rules, you know. And I didn't follow that, and I destroyed their rules because I couldn't accept stupid rules, you know. I had to fight against it. And I had to even talk to other people and say, hey, yo, we need to get this motherfucker down and destroy his ass now because he's doing stupid rules. I don't like stupid rules. And now it's different because I'm older now, and for me it's now like finding new ways, you know. During new roots campaign, I would say, you know. That's what we have, right? It's an NRC, a new rule campaign. New roots, it's the plural, yeah. So yeah, and I want to be creative. And creative, if you're an artist, a real artist, I don't mean if you're a rapper, you know, or a guitar player. I mean, if you're a real artist, your whole life is like a project, you know. Sometimes it's a stupid project, and sometimes it's good projects, you know. And you're learning to find better projects for yourself when you get older. So yeah, it's all about being creative, you know, in all kind of forms. Even if I paint the roof of our terrace, it's a project, and I'm creative, you know. Even if I paint the fence or make other stuff, you know. Even if I'm cooking, I'm an artist, you know. Of course, I cook something special. You know what I mean? It's the small things, and that's the question: what you do with your life. You can always follow the norm and say, yeah, I'm average Joe. That's fine for me too. I don't judge you, you know. You do you. And but for me, I can't do that. I can't do that. It's not possible because yeah, it's too boring. Hmm.
Oh my God, I so agree, because you're either living or you're dying, and or
Yeah.
you're growing or you're dying. And because
Hmm.
I see so many people, and I almost feel sad, because I think people like us, I don't even know what boredom is. Like, there's always so much to learn. There's always so much to do. Um, Whether it's
Yeah.
like, we're both into crypto, there's so much to learn every day and so much to discover, and or like, going outside and planting something, or you did like the organite, which is like awesome. I love that you just like, you got interested, you studied it, and then you built something. And I'm like, that is just so freaking cool, because by doing that, we're
Yeah.
really using our brain more, because our brain has so much capacity that we most of the time don't even tap into. you know People are just kind of drifting and just like, I don't know. I
It's
see so many people that have no interest. They just like, they go to work, or they are retired and they just watch TV. They watch their favorite shows. And I'm like, oh my God, to me, at least, it's a sad life, because you're watching TV shows about other people having exciting lives, or, adventures, and even drama, right? But yeah, I can't relate to that. And I always think that I wish they could find something that fulfills them and that makes them want to go and do something. Because when and for kids especially, I think it's so important to teach them to do stuff with their
yeah.
hands, do stuff with
Yeah.
their,
Mm.
get
Yeah.
outside.
I worked as a kindergarten teacher, and I have a good example for you. For example, we had we had a rainy day. It was raining in Berlin, and yeah, and everybody was on the window and looked at the rain and stuff, all the children. And after the rain comes down, I wanted to start singing now. Nah, come on. And and yeah, I told them, hey, come on, we need to get out. It's so funny, everywhere there are worms and muddy stuff and earth and stuff. And then one of my coworkers came to me and she said, oh, you will get a lot of trouble with the parents. And I was like, yeah, you know what? You can blame me. You say everyone, yeah, it's Marco's fault. He doesn't know. He's new. I wasn't new, but I was only there for 3 hours a day, So that was the perfect time frame. So yeah, we went out and it was so good to see them enjoy the earth and examine everything. They asked questions about the clouds, about the sun, about the rain and stuff like that, and they really discovered something, because normally, you know how it is. After some time, they discover some stuff, but it's like guided, it's like guided discovery, I would say. Like everything in this world is guided now, and I like to have them just do what they want. And I always told them, I'm your tool. We made like catch and run and stuff like that. Very easy stuff. But like Montessori said, she said, free play is the ultimate stuff for the children, because they can be creative, they can be actors, they can be scientists, they can be everything during free play. That's why free play is so important in her concept, and I did that naturally, because I was like, you don't have to give me a fancy toy. I just took them and they said, yeah, you are the bad bear and you try to catch us and you have alien eyes and then you come and you shoot with your something like that, something totally weird. And I was like, all right, what kind of voice you want me to have? And we started playing that game, I'm walking normal, or you want me walking like a crazy zombie, or I don't know, And they were so happy. They were so happy. Always when I came into the kindergarten, they were like, Marco! And because of the free play, and the freedom of the energy of freedom, that's what's needs children, That's the most important thing.
Oh,
Really.
yes. I'm so glad you're saying that, because I was hearing another podcast where they talked about sports, that they try to push one sport, and they're like, don't do that. Let the kids explore. Like, don't focus just on one sport. Let them play all sports,
Yeah.
and then explore. And then when they're old enough to make their own decision, oh, I'm really loving basketball, I'm really loving volleyball, whatever, or soccer.
Definitely.
Then let them specialize in it. But before that, let them free play. Let them try everything, because you have to explore it all before you can make a decision what you really want to get into. And I think parents are so focused on like this one. You're going to be a ballet dancer. Maybe they want to be a freaking like performing arts dancer where they just express. Like
the problem with that is always the parents. They have some dreams they couldn't fulfill in their lives, and they try to copy that on their children, and look, it's very, how can I say it, it's frustrating to see generation of people following their dreams of their parents, because it's like a family trauma, you have a family trauma, and then nobody is happy. Who was happy? Probably the great grandfather wasn't happy as well, or great grandmother, and but everybody is following that or try to fight it sometimes, but then after a while they get tired, because the whole society is fighting them. You have to be in a certain position when you be in a certain age, and that's society narrative, that's not you, that's a society. You can see it's very, very interesting when you see children in the kindergarten and children in first year at school. They are so different. Why they are so different? Because they want to be different? Nah, it's because they are confronted with a lot of rules, with a lot of norms and stuff like that, you know. And that's the program starting even in the kindergarten now. Starting, you know what I mean, because you are from the former German Democratic Republic, you know. They started in the kindergarten very early time. I know they had programs, get the sports people out, and even norm the whole children scouts and stuff like that, you know. So yeah, but that's what's happening now, you know. And now think of all of that stuff. Now they're wearing masks. Now they are scared to have social interactions and stuff like that. That is so sad to see. And people only have one argument. Yeah, we have to do it because otherwise people are dying. And that's not true. That's fucking not true, you know. Um, Now they start to do the whole thing with the children, you know. They start the vaccine thing with the children. The German government yesterday say, yeah, we want to we want the children to be vaccinated. It's very important for us. And even a government institute said that's not healthy for them. They don't need that. And they said, yeah, thanks for the recommendation, but that's not interesting. We follow our guidelines. And yeah, you see, it's an agenda. If you don't see that, I'm sorry for you. And I see people talking like that. I'm part of the solution. I got vaccine. I'm not part of the problem. That is so disrespectful, that comment. And they don't see it because they only look 3 months in advance. But what if in autumn and winter, when the next influenza season is starting, who will they blame if a lot of people are dying? I know who they blame.
Of
We
course,
both know.
of
Well,
course.
that's only the beginning, and they don't see it. They don't understand the whole psychological manipulation behind it and the whole subconscious program, you know. And
Yeah.
for me, it's starting a subconscious program for me as well. You are vaccinated, please stay away from me. You know?
I know, I know.
And that's not even funny, you know, because they playing with so many fears, and like you said, fear mongering. That's the perfect yeah, that's the perfect word for it. And they don't see it. They only think, yeah, no, everything is fine, we got vaccinated. They don't see that the Pfizer CEO already said that you need the third vaccine in autumn, probably. They are not 100% sure. They are sure behind the
They
scenes,
are sure.
but
Yeah,
they're not saying it. They have an agenda, you know?
yeah,
You
yeah.
can see that. And oh my God, this is so crazy. And it's the most, I'm so, I'm really, really sad for the children. That's what's bugging me the most on the whole shit, because I worked in kindergarten, I worked in elementary school, I worked in higher school, primary school. I even worked on the college. I worked with students. I worked with all kind of children and young people, and it was always super fun because I tried to give them some freedom. You know, I always said the same: use me, I'm your tool. You create this lesson. It's about you. And if you are lethargic or you can't get out of it, then we play some beach volleyball. I don't care. You know, and we make some sports. If you don't want to learn rap music, or if you don't want to learn some text, or I don't know, you know. And yeah, that's so sad, really, to see that. That's so fucking sad. It will create a generation of mental robots. Yeah.
It's yeah, it really concerns me too, because I feel like, wow, people are, what happened to doing real research? Like, why do people trust big pharma so much when we know that there's so many people? And I'm not talking about just people that, okay, me personally, I have an opinion, right? I'm trusting my intuition, but then there's people who are actually professionals, right? They've gone to medical school, they've done years of practice, they have, I mean, a whole like decade of proof that they are professionals at what they do, and they're being shut down, they're being removed from social media. So if that would not make people think, wait, okay, you can be and immediately being called an anti-vaxxer, right? Which is like, vaccines in general are not healthy. We all know that, and most of them don't even really work. But we've been trained that they are. We have to have them, right? And I'm not, again, I'm not saying whoever wants them, but to shut these people down that are just as educated, if not more so, than the other side that is pro it, right? That should raise questions, because we cannot just sit down and have a conversation where both parties are sitting there and saying, okay, what is your argument, right? Why do you feel it is bad? And then, no, because why? Because there's so much money in vaccinations. And then it would also raise, I would question, and that was my first thing. I'm like, first of all, I already knew this is all BS, but second, 2 shots, not one, two, and then you may have to need some boosters. You know what that means? That means you're going to be relying on this to maybe even keep you alive. I don't know. Like, I mean, do we really know? I mean, we don't know, right? And people saying, well, I'm fine, I've had it and I'm fine. I'm glad you are fine. But we don't know, like you said, in like a year from now, 2 years from now, this doesn't have to be immediate. And to do that to kids, where it's just like a more extreme version of a flu, that because next year there's going to be a different version, because it's just all these truths are coming out with the test not being even accurate. It's all BS. And so, and it's, I mean, I don't have all the proof right in front of me, but people can research that. But it's all being shut down, and some of it is even being said now openly, right? And still, yeah, and I feel you, because oh my God, I don't even know what's going to happen to those kids. What's going to happen to them? They're probably going to be infertile, like, so that's the goal right there, accomplished, right? Human depopulation. But it's scary. It is really scary. And then again, like blaming us maybe for it, that we are the problem. And then also us now being a little bit scared when you hear all the shedding and all these, and I don't even want to get too deep into it, because I'm like, I don't want to be scared, of vaccinated people now. But it's like insane, because this feels like we're being really physically now divided. Like you're either
Yeah,
in or you're out. And if
yeah,
they go to the Chinese way of like having these passports, like where you're being valued by the money you have, by your vaccine,
your
by
opinion.
your opinion, and that makes you either a good or a bad person. I mean, if people don't see what's happening, this is crazy, because this is not this is not diversity. This is not this is just really, well, I have no words for it, because this is just like dehumanizing. Like, this is like really saying you're the bad seed, you must go. You know, it scares me a little bit when I think about that. And I think that's why I just try to be the happiest I can be and focus on positivity. But it is our reality, and you're right. You're right. This is just the beginning, because all this was leading to where we are now, and it has just started. um but don't you feel like I have hope, because more and more people, I've actually joined a lot of groups on Telegram, where the free thinkers and the people that are thinking like us, I feel people will stand up for it, and they will not give up and just say, okay, fine, I'll be part of this so that I can be accepted. Because, man, what was that saying? I'd rather be hated for who I am than be loved for who I'm not. Was that Kurt Cobain or somebody? Like, I totally butchered it, but like, that is really, it's scary.
Yeah, I had a conversation with my best friend today, and my oldest friend, and I said to him, I was just making, we were just goofing around, and I said to him, "Hey, come on, man, let's take the shot. Come on, man, everything is easy. Ah, come on, one shot, man. What the fuck? Come on, take it, man, and then your life is easy. Everything is okay, man." And he was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, man, very good idea. Which one do you take?" I say, "Man, first AstraZeneca maybe, and then have a little bit of combination going on, and then I take some BioNTech, and then maybe the third one Johnson & Johnson, and I don't know, man, why not the Chinese at the fourth one? Mixing everything around, and then mixing everything around me. Cream get the money. Nah, I'm just kidding around, but yeah, you must have some kind of good humor at this time, otherwise you get crazy. And yeah, you need projects, you need good projects, and probably not living in a city is a must with that mindset, because the city is so controlled, CCTV everywhere, police presence. And if you in a village, and even if you have a police there, maybe you are lucky, and this policeman, you give him a beer and then it's okay, you know what I mean? That's some kind of villages are like that, and it will not be forever, but there's no solution at the moment for it. And you are right, a lot of people standing up, and I heard even rumors that a lot of lawyers standing up at the moment, preparing a big case at Den Haag now for the human rights. And even in America, Florida and Texas, the Republican states, they try to show the people, hey, look, but the division is already there. Even if I say Republican, it means that I'm a Nazi now, for example. And I don't care about Republicans. I don't even care about politics. I hate politics always. It's always a triangle, between politics, media, and industry. That's the triangle. And for a reasonable person, not like a sickhead like me, like I'm an artist, they would maybe think, I read it in the news. Probably it's not right. So I check again with some institute, and the institute is sponsored by the industry, but they don't look behind. It doesn't matter, So they're like, okay, the institute say the same. The politicians are on their side as well. So I checked it. I triple checked it. It must be true. You know what I mean? That's like the grid of the same information, for example. Same with the media in Europe. Everything goes to Reuters first in London, and then Reuters spread it around over Europe. And they're not even journalists anymore. They copy and paste the message, and then they put something inside, but very, very on a very low level. Maybe they don't have the time. Maybe the money is not good. I don't know what happened to journalism. But yeah, it's we have one journalist in Germany. It's called Boris Reitschuster. He actually is attending every time at the government press conference. They do a press conference like in America, at the White House. And he's asking very bad questions, like normal questions like, hey, this institute said the PCR tests are not really good and not showing real numbers. And they always do the same. They're not answering the questions. They always one, or they refer to someone else, because this time now you don't have an opinion, because if you have an opinion, people can fix you on that, can say, hey, you have an opinion, you said this and that in the past, you must be a Nazi, you don't have oh shit, you don't have a career anymore. If I look, you said this and that. So that's even when you call Vodafone, it's so hard, or let's say Telecom, or I don't know, AT&T. You won't find a person responsible, and that's the same in politics. You don't find any person responsible. You only hear like something, they say something, but it's meaningless, they say something and like, yeah, and sometimes they fix it, okay, sometimes they fix it. If you're lucky, they fix it, and it's the same with politicians, and the same same with industry people, because they are so scared to have an opinion. Because if you have an opinion on that level, like that level of fame or that level of success, let's say, society success, you can't have an opinion. Because if you have a real opinion and you make it's not the public narrative, then you're out. You're out very fast. And that's one of the problems. I see. No, that's the biggest problem. Sorry.
No, it's crazy. I saw that I guess LeBron James didn't answer the question when he was asked if he took the vaccine, which is like, fucking who cares, right? No, they have to ask him, and he didn't give an answer. So they're losing their shit, saying that, oh, how dare he didn't answer, and how dare he would. And I'm like, really, have we
Pressure.
gotten this pressure? And that should make people question, like, this is just on so many levels so wrong. And you're right with information, because you can't even find good information anymore unless you really dig deep, because the people who have the Google and who have all the information pages, they are owned by the mob. They're owned by the people who are backing big pharma.
Yeah.
So it is really hard now for people to even, so that's why I feel, in a way, I understand where they're coming from. I try to understand where they're coming from with their opinion, because most people don't put effort into it. Like you and I are like, okay, let's do some more research here, and also what you seek finds you. So when you really, dig deeper, and you really are not so far left or so far right, and you just like, okay, let me just like look at everything that's going on, from stepping slightly away from it, and my own perspective. I think also people are not trusting their own voice, their own body, their own mind anymore. They don't spend any time sitting down thinking, what do I actually think? How do I actually feel about this? Right? No, I have to go listen to someone else, and then if Jennifer Lopez says that, and I'm gonna agree, because if she says it, she must be right. It's just an example, right? Yeah, it's just an example.
Sorry for interrupting you, but that's like we coming back to the extrinsic stuff, and the external.
Yes.
That's always the same loop, where people are, and it's now Corona. Corona is very extreme, the opinion, the public opinion is super extreme, because people could die. And but it was even there before, even before. It's like, like some stuff you can't say. For example, you can try to criticize the central bank system. You know what I mean? And you're even a crypto maniac or a Bitcoin maximalist, they call them. But have an open discussion with central bank management and central bank critics, for example. That would be awesome, That would be really cool, with facts, backed by facts, and really like they have a 1 month preparation time to have a really good discussion, and not because who's winning. Nobody is winning. It's about develop a good system, and that's the point, right? Like, how can we develop a system if we only have a one track mind? It's not possible.
Amen.
Sorry for you.
No, it's totally fine. And I agree with you, because we have to stop wanting to always be right, because it's all about right and wrong. People are so, nobody's really right, because everybody has their own reality. Everybody lives in their own reality, and has their own opinion. And most importantly, again, it comes down to your intuition, because you deep down know what's good for your body. That doesn't mean that you follow it, right? It doesn't mean that you trust it, because most people don't trust their intuition, because what you said, again, comes back to the external thing. They trust rather someone else.
It's always the same.
Yeah.
Look,
it's a cycle.
That's you said the most important thing, and you said the most important thing. All of it, because you deal with trauma, you deal with pain, you deal with fear. It all has one goal. You can go back to your intuition and can again listen to your inner voice without having an inner child crying around, without this, like that's why people meditate, actually, that they can find their intuition again. And if you follow your intuition in life, everything is fine. You don't have to be scared.
Oh my God, I love this. Yes. And that's why it's important to also be out in nature, because that's where you connect. That's where you connect to your
Yeah,
actual core, with
yeah.
with where we came from. And that is, I think people hopefully will acknowledge that, and we'll get back to that. And I really, by the way, want your recipe for the chocolate because I'm so intrigued by that.
It's so easy. It's so easy. I didn't know before. I should have done it years before.
That is so awesome.
Yeah. It's really it has a very good nut flavor.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Oh,
Yeah,
yes, anything, no chocolate,
yeah.
no.
I make my own ice cream as well. Yeah, but you know what I did? I did a mango yogurt ice cream. Wow, that's the craziest thing. I show you how you can do it. It's so easy. It's so easy. It's so easy, and it's
Yeah.
amazing, really.
We'll share it.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah.
God. So you have to have like a little YouTube or iTunes, like, or what what am I doing? iTunes, Instagram. There's too many freaking apps. Instagram, where you share maybe
Yeah.
some recipes, because oh my God, I would so love to have that.
Yeah, that's good. It's
Good.
so easy, really. It's not a big deal. You just need a mixer and a freezer. That's it.
Do
Mm.
you feel the
And some
same way?
ingredients, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Do you feel the same way, like, during this whole time where everything was kind of shut down, and when I was in LA, especially, and I have my own like place and kitchen, everything, which I have now too, but I love, I started cooking again, more. I mean, I've never been a big eating out, and definitely not fast food, but now I actually enjoyed more cooking for myself because I know what's in it. I know
Mm.
ingredients,
Mm.
versus like when you go out and you don't really know if the place is clean or not. And so I really enjoy that now too. And that's, like you said that earlier, I think it's another creative outlet, to just explore a little bit and express yourself,
Yeah.
and think, like, I try to do it. I don't always do it because I love food, and sometimes I'm an emotional eater, I guess. Like, more like if I feel good, I just want to eat all the time. But thanking, like,
Mhm.
when you look at your plate and you go, thank you for these amazing,
Mm, yeah,
fresh
yeah. I have that
spinach,
so
you know?
yeah, it makes me so happy. And there are some certain fruits like mango from Indonesia or from Thailand. That's unbelievable. It
Ooh,
makes me so happy. And watermelon makes me always happy. I'm take a bite and to the
yes.
watermelon, and I'm happy. There are some food which makes me unbelievable happy. And sometimes, yeah, just sitting there eating and thinking, wow, I'm so blessed with this nice food. And Turkey is a paradise for nice food. It's unbelievable, because they have so many farms, and animals are outside, except for chicken, of course, unfortunately. But the other it's so delicious. It's unbelievable delicious. But I even stopped eating meat at the moment. I make a break now.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. It, it's better. And to be honest, you have to kill your own animals to eat meat. You know what I mean? Like the old people do. Like, for example, my wife, she's from a village. She said, when the animals getting old and they're ready to die, then the people killed them and then they ate it. And I like that idea. That's a really, really, that's like a circle. Like they're ready to die, and you eat them, you give respect to that animal, everybody is happy. And it's like the same awareness. Some people could say now, yeah, I don't eat animals, I don't get your idea. That's fine. But for me, that's like giving some awareness even to meat, and that's totally different from the industrial lifestyle. You know what I mean? And in villages, they don't eat meat every day because it's too expensive. If you have a farm, you can't eat meat every day. That's not possible.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want that lifestyle back. I want um, that real experience. Like having own food, and the ultimate goal is that you don't need money. You have money, that's fine, but you don't need it. You know what I mean?
Mm.
That's the ultimate goal. That's what the society is teaching me now. Okay, Marco, you need to learn how you can live completely without money, you know, um, by yeah, having your own energy, your own water system, filter system, and you will always need a little bit of money. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
I'm not
it costs money to get all
living
that.
in a
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. But when you come to a point, for example, maybe you need only $200 a month or something like that. That would be awesome, you know.
yeah,
And yeah, and that's the ultimate goal. And have the experience, you know. Enjoy the flight. That's always important. Enjoy the flight. Enjoy the ride.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
I think what you mean is
Um,
like also the
I
self.
say one more thing to you. I'm sorry for people who listen to this or watching this. Um, there's one thing. It's so amazing. The MIT is offering open courses for all kind of stuff, for every kind of stuff. I'm doing now an MIT course for blockchain and finance, and it's awesome. It's with Gary Gensler. Gary Gensler worked for um Goldman Sachs and stuff like that, and it's so interesting to listen to his view, see his view. We would consider it an enemy, but for me it's not an enemy. I don't judge him, you know. It's his life. He came to that position and he's regulating the finance market. He worked for the Obama administration, and it's so interesting to listen to this man, you know. Sometimes I think, you motherfucker, you want to regulate my Bitcoin, huh? You know what I mean? But I don't mean it in a bad. I don't mean it in a bad way. It's just my opinion, you know. And when I'm listening to him, I can really recommend to you do that open courses if you have time. I I'm at lesson 5 now. I think it's like 30 lessons or something for a whole semester. It's a semester. Can you say semester? I don't know.
Oh, that's
For
cool.
half a year, you know?
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Huh?
That's cool.
Yeah, for
I
half a
think
year.
it comes back to what we talked about earlier. I think it's so important to always educate yourself because I hate when people say,
Yeah,
I mean, I do it too sometimes, like, oh, I don't know how to do this, I don't know how to do that. But then I go on YouTube, and if I can, I'll, because there's always
so
something.
easy.
It's so easy now.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'll link that in the description below so people can find that
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. I sent you the links
You
to it.
did, yeah,
It's amazing, really.
yeah.
It's mind blowing. Even I
Mhm.
learned so much, and now I understand the technology. I get better. I know what blockchain is. You know what a hash is. I didn't know that before,
Yeah,
and I'm just at the beginning. You know, and it's mind blowing. Really, it's an amazing time, and that's what you can see now as well. There's the fear mongering side. You know, there's all that those crazy people who say you are guilty for the deaths of millions of people. Okay, that's okay. That's not good. I don't. I look at it, you know, but there's cryptocurrencies, there's decentralized finance for a lot of unbanked people in Africa, for example. They have now access to finance projects. They can have microcredits. I watched videos about it. It's mind blowing. In South America, uh, um, um, a mother, she had no money, she had no access to banks, and she found an app. It was coincidentally, and then she found that app, and yeah, she got a microcredit, and then she could afford the treatment for her son because her son was sick, and then she paid it back, and she has a very good credibility now, so she gets more microcredits, and that's so amazing, you know. And not only the industry countries, the northern hemisphere has access to it now the southern hemisphere. That's one positive thing. All the new technologies coming, you know, you will see a lot of technologies will come, like the whole 3D printing, for example, or
oh yeah.
a lot of other stuff. Um, you know, there's always hope. There's always hope, and it's like the hand of Fatima. The hand of Fatima is a very important symbol in the Muslimic world, and even before. And for me, the hand of Fatima, it says for me, um, create and you see the word. You not only see, you experience, you breathe the word. If you create with your hand, for example, you know, and that's a wonderful, yeah, that's always what I think. That's a wonderful philosophy to live life, you know, like you create something instead of having something, owning something. You create something that makes life much more, the experience of life much more interesting than just having something. Yeah.
Right. That it's funny you saying that. It reminds me of the tarot card, the magician, because I feel that we are all magicians, where you just like get busy and you create something, because then what you've
Mm,
created, you actually own it. And that could be something, you know, like a song. It could be whatever it is, but it's like there's so much value and energy in something that you
yeah.
made yourself versus something that you, and I mean, of course, yeah, you go to a thrift store and you find something that is like totally speaking to you, like, oh my God, this is great. But you creating something with your own hands that is not only
Mm,
nurturing your brain and you know, stimulating your senses, but it's definitely something that is a part of you and your
yeah.
work. And that's
Forever.
yeah, forever. And that's magical, it's
Forever.
beautiful, and it's just
Mm,
life nurturing.
yeah. Yeah. And that's what people need to remember, I think, you know, and that's why we maybe step out of a centralized system. That's why I believe in Bitcoin and all those decentralized finance systems which are coming up now, because, oh, sorry, because I think the same for my life. I think it's decentralized. Decentralized is and of course the centralized institutions. They don't want that stuff. They will fight hard, probably with Corona. You know what I mean? And because they want to centralize all that shit. It's a very very special timing. Eh? They have a very special timing now for Corona, because the whole world is changing massively now. You know,
Yeah.
and they can't stop it, so they want to control it and take us back to Stone Age, psychologically speaking. You know, like the amygdala. They want to control our amygdala, and it's so much stuff coming. You know, and
It's
it's
exciting.
amazing to be alive. It's amazing to be alive. It's
Absolutely.
unbelievable.
Yeah, it's
Mm,
exciting. It's exciting.
never forget it. Never forget it. Yeah.
It is groundbreaking. And you know what's really funny,
Mm,
speaking of the crypto, is like I got into it like 2007, end of 2017, early 2018. I bought some Bitcoin and I bought like a Litecoin, and then it got boring and I was kind of stupid to just walk away and be like, "Oh, okay, whatever, you know." And during the bear market, when I could have, should have learned, but could have, should have, whatever. But now that I'm back and I'm like, oh my God, you would think you're late, but we're still in the beginning phase. And that is
yeah.
more exciting knowing that, because the adaptation phase has just started. So we're still in the beginning of all of this. How exciting
Yeah.
is that, you know, because
Yeah.
half of the
Absolutely.
world has no clue, you know?
And I watched videos, like I'm in that for like 3 or 4 months now, you know.
I know, you know
Uh,
already so much for being in it for so
I'm a
short.
newbie. I'm a super noob, you know. And I heard like 5 months ago, and when I started to watching YouTube videos and stuff like that, they always said, buy a little bit of Bitcoin, at least buy a little bit of Bitcoin. And I was always like, what the fuck? And now I say the same thing. I say the same thing. If you don't have Bitcoin, buy a little bit of
A
Bitcoin.
little bit.
Maybe worth $100.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. You know, maybe even $10. It doesn't matter. Just have that experience to be part of something groundbreaking. Really.
Right.
That's it. That's it. All the communities and the people, some people are crazy. They want to have one Lambo, you know, always one Lamborghini, a Lamborghini. And but the majority of people are really nice, and they help me in the forums, you know, and they're super super helpful. I'm in some Telegram groups. They are so amazing. They even they could teach me forex trading now if I want, you know, and that's amazing. You don't have to even pay money nowadays. You don't need Udemy. You don't need anything. You go online and you have free MIT courses. MIT, come on, yo, that's crazy. And you go on Telegram. You have groups teaching you how to become a good trader, and they only do it because they want more people in. They don't. You have to be careful, of course. There's a lot of scammers. Don't fall for it. I went to a pump and dump group for my first experience, and I tried it 3 times. And then after 3 times, I realized, I'm the target. I'm stupid. Okay, I got it. But it was a wonderful experience to learn about how it works, you know.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's failure. A failure is the best experience. And it's amazing, really. It's amazing. Even on Twitter, I was a super Twitter hater, you know. I was like, what the
Same.
fuck.
Yes.
Twitter full of knowledge and full of information. If you just reading, you don't even have to contribute. I'm only reading. I'm in a lot of forums. I don't post a lot of stuff. Sometimes I say thank you or stuff like that, but I'm reading all the conversations of young people like talking about the technology. I'm like, all right, I have to learn this, I have to learn that. What they're talking about, what means FUD, what means hashing, you know what I mean? It's amazing, really. We are so blessed. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a universal thing. It's a universal thing. I'm 100% sure. And they want to cut us off from the universal development. I'm pretty sure about that. I'm 100% sure about that, really.
Totally.
It's an agenda.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I'm so with you because you invited me to a forum, and then I'm in part of a bunch of groups too. And I have to say, the abundant mindset that these people have is so beautiful, because like we said earlier, right, there's so many beautiful things in this world that if you really look for them, just like the negative stuff, right? You look for the negative shit and you could find, oh my God, you could find like it's suicidal, right? But then you could find the good stuff and you're like, oh my God, like I can find a way out of this by this mess, by just being self-sustained, right? Just learning and growing and just jumping in, because I think a lot of people are still scared of crypto because it's not easy, because it's a different thing. But I think I even asked you, I'm like, how do you do that? And I mean, we talked about it, and but then
I asked you too. You remember? I was like, well, I don't know anything. I was like, wow, can you help me?
But then when you have it, you're like, oh my God, that was not that hard, right? It's just like solving a computer problem sometimes, where you feel like you just can't do it, and it may take you a day or 2 days, but then you feel like there's something about, I'm sure you feel the same way. It's like certain hormones release in your body where you feel like you want to learn more, you want to do more, because it's exciting when you keep learning and you keep growing.
Definitely.
It's
and learning that new technology, even, or that new finance, even learn about finance system. That's a super value for your life. That's what I told my oldest friend today as well. He was like, why I should buy silver? And I was like, man, it's not about buying silver. It's about, you think about assets, you think about portfolio, you think about the society, you look at economy, you look at the finance system. How is that working? That's the value. It's not about buying silver and hoping my silver will blow up like crazy. No, the value is in, you get the knowledge about the system, and you get knowledge about new system, and maybe you create your own system, and maybe it's successful, and you're like, wow, I created that system and it works. I have my own system. It was even in a Telegram group. I told people I have gold. We have gold coins, because I said to my wife, we need gold coins. If we have a portfolio, we must have gold. That's inevitable. And then they said, why have gold? That's like a luxury. I was like, yeah, I made $1,000 in 3 months. Yeah, it's cool. I said to them, and we don't even sell it. Maybe it's go down again. It doesn't matter, because if you look at the system and the dollar rise up, the euro rise up, and I don't talk about the Turkish currency. That's like crazy, crazy crashing, because it's super regulated by the government. That's why it's crashing. Always super regulated, super centralized. It's crashing. Yeah, it doesn't ring a bell.
Right.
And yeah, and it's so good to have gold. You know, it's amazing to have gold. We have gold coins. Somebody took it out of a mine, and they make coins with it, and I have it now.
That's
You
awesome.
know, it's an asset. I'm super grateful for it. You know, I see the value behind the gold, and
Yeah.
that's the like you start learning about those assets, and that's amazing, really.
Mm-hmm,
Not,
mm-hmm. That's
you
cool.
know,
I have a friend, she works in commodities, and she told me about that too. And I have,
yeah,
right now, I only have some jewelry that is like gold and some silver. But
you choose.
huh?
You choose. It's up
Yeah,
on you.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I told my friend as well. If you want to have euros under your mattress, hey, that's up on you. If you think that's cool, that's okay. I don't push you.
yeah,
I only say you're my kind of view. You know
yeah.
what
Absolutely.
I
No,
think.
but it's nice to
Mhm.
learn from others about that, you know.
Yeah,
And when she really told me about this, I was like, yeah, you're right. We should have those things, because when it all, imagine all systems go down, what do you trade with? Yeah, I mean,
silver coins are super handy because they are small and they people use them in the past, so it's nothing new. You know,
yeah, yeah,
people already use them, and you can take them. Your government even doesn't know that you have silver coins. You know, maybe you
exactly.
have a new system with other silver friends, and then you build up a community based on silver, for example. You know, that's
Yeah,
only one example, and the government is looking for tax, and you say, I'm poor, I don't have any stuff, I'm sorry.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. You're right.
that's it. Mm.
And that's when there were times where nobody relied on the government, when they had their own coins and when they had all their own assets, and they were just trading and bartering and like doing their thing. And it will come back to that time, I think. And with Bitcoin, it will be somewhat like that with cryptocurrency, not just Bitcoin, but cryptocurrency, where it's like way more easy to do transactions, and
Yeah,
especially like
unbelievable.
down the road, it's going to be even cheaper and like even more I think they just have to maybe simplify the process for people to be able to adapt it quicker.
They will,
uh,
they will,
and they
and
will,
then
they're already
then
working on that. Yeah,
and then you can't win money anymore like now.
yeah,
You know, it
exactly.
will get the margins will get smaller, which is fine too. You know,
Yeah,
but now it's a crazy a gold rush, San
I
Francisco gold rush. Yeah.
know. Oh man, thank you so much for this conversation.
Thank you for the
We
invitation.
have to do this more often, because I just love talking to you, and it's always, we do
Yeah,
this
same
like,
for me.
yeah, we do this outside of this a lot, and a lot of times, right, I'm like, oh, we should have recorded this, like people need to hear this,
Yeah,
because it's inspiring. And it's just great to have, I think my takeaway from our conversation is for people to have more conversations, you know
yeah,
just
true. True.
sit down and have a real conversation about issues, without being so one way or another way, but just like being open to,
Yeah.
how can I improve my life, and not so much worry about circling back to that, the
Even
outside world,
even
right? Yeah.
even if it's not exchanging opinions, just exchanging ideas. You
Yes.
know,
Yes.
that would be a good start, like exchanging ideas. Like, okay, we made our point, what we think about vaccination and all that stuff, but we can go on from now on. Everybody, we know what we think about it, and but we can exchange and share ideas, you know,
Absolutely.
and for life, not only for business projects, you know.
Absolutely.
It's
Yeah,
life. It's life. Yeah, everything is life,
it is. It is. and
and
and that,
that's super.
I think it's almost our duty as humans to uplift one another, to inspire one another, to just like do one good thing a day, and that could be just like, I love walking around smelling plants, like smelling flowers. People
Mhm.
look at me like I'm crazy, like I see this beautiful tulip and I have to smell it because they smell amazing
Yeah,
and look pretty. It's
yeah,
appreciating the
I
little
got
bit,
you.
right? It's appreciating the little thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Great.
You are so
Thank you very much
amazing.
for the invitation. Much love, and
Likewise.
yeah, see you in a few. Bye
Absolutely.
bye.
Bye. As always, Thank you so much for listening. I know your time is valuable and you could be listening to so many other things out there because there's a ton of podcasts out there. But mine is one of your favorites, right? Of course. Thank you so much. In the comments below, let me know how you feel about the whole situation and what are you doing to better your community, to better your own situation, what obstacles you've overcome the past year and a half. And if you would like to be on my show, leave me a message. You can reach me on Facebook, on Instagram, or here on YouTube. And thank you again for your time. Please subscribe, like, and share if you enjoyed this conversation. And I look forward to the next one next week on Friday. Thanks and have an amazing week, day, month, year, life. Take care.